Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday, the 18th day of June, 2026. I hope you're all safe and healthy today on this parade day. I hope your family is safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the area of health, along with first responders doing their best every day to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children, victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The ones that are out here trying to help those that are victims of prostitution, child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, profiteers, and perverts that create the demand that caused these to be a multi-billion-dollar industries. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, and senior citizens homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. So yesterday, we were talking about the future for the Knicks. Today, I want to discuss the financial future. Now, usually when I do a video like this, I'm not considering myself I'm not Brock Aller, see, so I don't know exactly how all this works, but I will say I'm usually 80% accurate on what I'm telling you. There are people that don't like numbers that will argue with me about numbers, which I find to be utterly ridiculous, but the Knicks have decisions to make. Okay, priorities. First off, let's take certain things. Right now, the Knicks have 9 players under contract, okay? Let's make some priorities. Starting 5 is set. They're under contract. They're not going anywhere. Then in terms of the bench pieces, Mitchell Robinson is a priority. And then you have Deuce McBride. I have heard people already talking about, and they are Deuce haters from the time he was drafted undercover and not man enough to stand up and say they're just Deuce haters. Not call him not a point guard. They need to trade him. They've been saying this for years. I ignore such idiots. Deuce is a championship piece. He did not have a great playoff, but he's going to have future great playoffs. He had a great playoff in the Atlanta series, if you recall. Juice ended Atlanta on that last game, but he's going to have more going forward. And he's been faithful. He's been underpaid, cheapest contract for his level of play in the NBA. And yes, they're going to keep him. So Deuce as a priority. The good thing about Deuce is that because he's under contract in this coming season, any extension, listen carefully for those that don't pay attention, any extension that Deuce signs now does not go into effect until 27-28. So when you're signing Deuce, you're not talking about going over the second apron. That's not part of this issue at all. Okay? So please take Deuce off the table because he's not going anywhere and his money won't count against this year's cap. And this year's cap is what this is all about. So I'm looking at spotrac.com. And for this coming season, the Knicks will have a second apron space, $16.5 million. Okay, these are according to, if SpotRack is correct, that's what we're looking at, $16.5 million. Now, let's start with Mitchell Robinson. Before we even go there, Mitchell Robinson is unrestricted free agent. The Knicks are the only team that could offer him 5 years. That's number one. All teams, including the Knicks, understand he's better off coming off the bench in terms of longevity. He's not a starter in terms of longevity. His talent is a starter. But anybody trying to say some team is going to get him and make him a starter is stupid. Everybody understands he's not a starter. The Knicks preserved him by not playing him back-to-backs last year. Okay? And they'll do the same this year. Before we talk about that, though, we would like to see how can we expand our second apron space. Now, James Dolan has already said he's not going over the second apron, so let's take that off the table. He'll open the checkbook much as you want, but he's not going to go over the second apron because he wants to have the flexibility at the trade deadline. So the first order of business, then, look at your current guaranteed roster. Can you trade anyone aside from Mitchell Robinson and Deuce? So take that off the table. that will create more second apron space. Let me say it again because people don't pay attention. When I put this video up, there's going to be people that look at the title and try to make comments and questions that the video answers. Please don't do that. But who would you trade aside from, again, we're taking Deuce and Mitch off the table. Deuce is going to be here. Mitch is going to be here. Who would you let go of from your guaranteed deals to create more cap space? To me, this comes down to really three candidates. Let's start with Jose Alvarado. We love Jose. He's from New York. We like him to be a Knick. But he is in the last year of his contract at $4.5 million. Okay? He's in the last year of his deal. He's got a player option for $4.5 million. Now, usually in these situations, players want a longer term. They don't necessarily want more money up front. They want longer term guaranteed money. There's a difference. So if Jose Alvarado just wanted the biggest dollars he could get, he'll take a 2-year deal. Somebody will pay him, $7-8 million per, and he'll go. That's what Hartenstein came to New York on, a 2-year, $15-16 million deal. But no, he wants longer term money. So if I'm the Don, and this is a Don type move, I would offer him 4 years and $16 million. What does that do? And I wouldn't start him at 4.5. I would start him at 3.75 and give him increments until his 4th year, or even a 5th year, but definitely 4 years. This reduces his immediate impact. He's going to decline this option. This reduces his immediate impact on the cap. Okay, so now you just increased your cap space by $500,000. And and if you're paying attention, the Don counts every nickel. Okay, so if we do that and he comes in at 4 and he's going, let's say 4, 4.3 or whatever, up to, whatever 4 or 5 years they give him. I'm just using the number 16 million because that's $4 million a year, easy to divide, but it wouldn't exactly be like that. But the key thing here is he declines this $4.5 million. He takes less money in the first year, but he gets a long-term guaranteed deal. So he's going to be guaranteed at least $16 million more. Okay? That's important. Then, after him, you're dealing with two candidates, Bacome Daddier at 2.9, almost $3 million, and Tyler Kolek. I am keeping Tyler Kolek. Daddier's 21. He's got a future. But that makes him valuable. See, remember, we're trying to bring back the band. So we got our starting 5. We got Deuce McBride. If we do this, we'll have Alvarado. I want Tyler Kolek, and I want him to play a more expanded role this year. So I would trade Daddier into cap space. Okay, I'm trading Daddier into cap space. I was thinking about that last year, and I'm still thinking about it because I thought that money would come in handy. So if you do that, so now you're going from, 16.5 turns into 17 because of Alvarado. If you trade Daddier into somebody's cap space, you're going to have to give up like a 2nd round pick or something. But you will end up now being at 20 million under the second apron. Now, Mitchell Robinson, he's coming off the bench. Every team knows this. See, it's only media that talks up him as the Lakers won this one. Listen, he's not a starter. You want to maximize him, you bring him off the bench. That's what the Knicks are doing. So what I would do is offer Mitch 5 years, $80 million. That's what I'd offer him. And his first year would start at 14 million. If I can get away with 13, and I let it increase until it adds up to 80 over 5 years. But the first year is very important because of our second apron situation. So now I bring him in. I got Mitch Rob. I got Deuce already. I have Alvarado. Shamit. If I bring Mitch in, say at 14 million, I have 6 million left to play with. Okay? I can sign Diawara. I can sign Diawara to almost like a vet min contract for the next couple of seasons. If somebody wants to give him more money, we'll lose him. I'll tell you that right now. But if he wants to stay a Knick, I will give him a short-term deal on low money, like maybe 1.5. Now, Shamit is the key here. There's two ways this could go. Shamet could leave or Shamet could stay. That's it. There's no in between. Either Shamet leaves or Shamet stays. We want Shamet to stay, but we got to stay within our budget for Shamet. So looking at it like this, I am thinking we can offer Shamet 4 years, something like 30 million. And we could start him off at something like 5.5 and let it increase. Again, the key thing here is the first year. So that keeps us under the second apron. And in fact, if we could do that, now I have a feeling we may lose Hoop Party. And the reason is because we can't afford him. See, you don't want to lose your first 8 or 9 guys. So you're going to have your starting 5, Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride. You're going to try to get Shamet back up in here, but you got Alvarado and you got Kolek. I'm really confident that if we can bring Kolek into the rotation, he can really replace what you might have got with Alvarado. He's not going to exactly replace Shamet because Shamet is a defender. I think Kolek will be just as good a shooter as Shamet, but defense-wise, that's where we're going to lose here. Now, also, guys like Clarkson, okay, you won't be able to bring Clarkson in right away, but this is how it works. The more season goes by, the less Clarkson's minimum contract will cost. So Clarkson wants to come back. You just keep him on ice if he wants to stay with the Knicks. He don't sign with anybody. Maybe around the trade deadline he comes back, or like before that, maybe December. And now instead of the 2.4, he comes in less because as time goes on in the season, you gain a little bit more money and the contracts become less because it's less of a season. Okay. So we might be able to get him back, but really the priority is Shamet. And the question is, how much of a raise does Shamet want? So now he's at 2. It was a minimum deal, but for a veteran, he gets 2.45 million. Okay. And so if somebody offers him more than the Knicks can spend, then he's going to be gone. And that's why I'm dependent on Kolek. Kolek may take Shamet's spot. It's not like we got to go out into the league and try to find somebody. It's the money. So you can't just say, let's go get somebody. There's not that many Shamets out there you're gonna be able to get for the league minimum. Shamet can get somebody's MLE, which he could probably take. Okay, and the MLE is 6 to 8 million per year. Now, you're getting 2.45. You were playing on less than that, but now you're going to get up to 8 million. And I think he's probably going to get that. So I think I want to believe the Knicks will re-sign him. It really is going to be tough, though. Even if they create the 20 million in space, somebody's got to go. Now, I already mentioned Daddier, the 2.9 million. Daddier is promising as a rookie and as going into his second or third year. He's promising. He's an NBA player, but we're trying to win a chip, and we need our top 9, probably 10. So if we trade Daddier into space, let's say we trade him with one of our picks this year, and I think we could do that, and we could create 3 million in space. We want Alvarado back. If we had to lose him, that's another 4 million. Okay, so now you're really in $23 million, and you could use that. Now there's Sohan. Sohan this year, he's gonna be 23. He's gonna get. I'm gonna offer him an Vitman for now, just to keep him. He's going to play a bigger role because of his size, his ability to guard 5s. He's a defender. He's going to play a bigger role. And I want to keep Diawara. So I want to keep those 2. That's going to be our end of the bench guys. Okay? Both 6'8", 6'9". Diawara, we know, could play, 4 positions. Sohan could guard 4 positions. At least he'd probably guard all 5. But that's going to be valuable. But Shamet is the key. So I can see us keeping Mitchell Robinson depending on how his contract is structured. At 20 million under the cap, if we can range that, Can we get away with paying him $12 million his first year? If we do that, we have $8 million to pay Shamit. Okay, and we can maybe get away with paying him 6 or 7 in the first year. This is tricky. So really, Clarkson's probably not going to be on the opening night roster. He's going to get paid somewhere, but he's 34. Alvarado, he'll take a longer term deal for a little bit less money per. That should save us some money. We could trade Daddy with a pick. You can trade him with the 31st pick and somebody will take him. Okay, $3 million cap space gone. Okay, that raises us by $3 million. I want to keep Kolek because I want Kolek to play a bigger role. Kolek is ready for a bigger role. He's 25. He's gonna be 26. He's ready. He's T.J. McConnell. I've been saying that from the beginning, and he's gonna give us that type of production off the bench. So Kolek is a lesser defender than Shamit, but he's just as good a shooter. That's important. It'd be good if we got some defense from him like Shamit. That's why Shamit becomes more important. So overall, we'll keep Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride. Those are locks. We're going to keep them. Daddy is trade bait right now. And I think it'll easily be able to send him somewhere into cap space and get that money freed up. So we can get up to $20 million in cap space. Now the question, and we don't have to worry about Kolek right now because he's under contract. Now he's extension eligible. So you might even be able to extend him. But again, his extension won't go into this season. It goes into next season. So for this year, we could keep him and not have to cost us anything more. Same with Deuce. Mitchell Robinson, as I mentioned, they're going to sign him. Ariel Huporti is questionable. Clarkson, probably not. Sohan, I think we can get away with the vet min on him. It's Shamit that's the issue. So Shamit's eligible for an $8 million a year deal. Some people think 10 to 12, but I think that's a little bit hype. I think 8 million is a good number for him. If we can get him in at 8 million, let's say 4 years, 32 million, and start him off at 6 and let it be a sliding scale up, that gets us through this year. You see, that's why this season is important. As I mentioned yesterday, the Knicks' greatest chance to repeat and be the first team to repeat in 8 years is this coming season. So if you can keep Mitch, Deuce, Shamit, you'd like to keep Alvarado, you're in good shape. And then you got Kolek too. You're in good shape. Then you want to keep a Diawara and a Sohan because you're going to need them. You want to need them come playoff time. You want to get them some PT. You're going to need them during the course of the grind of 82 games. You're going to need them. But you don't want to pay a lot for them. Okay? So we have to see how that works out. Sohan was a lottery pick. So that contract is done though. So now, we got to see if we can hold on to him at a cheaper deal for at least 2 more seasons or, maybe 4 seasons. We could got his bird rights and then, give him player options and work like that to try to keep him. Diawara is 21. I don't know. He thinks he should play more. But the Knicks, it's hard for anyone to explain to a 21-year-old, listen, this is a grown-ass time, man. Hold on. He might leave. Okay? But the worst case scenario, in my opinion, is we re-sign Mitch, we get Deuce, we get Shamit. The rest of them, and we get Kolek. Okay, so I can see the Kolek, Shamit, Mitch Rob, and Deuce. You're going to have them. And then you might have to let Alvarado go. You might have to let Clarkson go. You might have to let Diawara go. There's people at the back of the bench you might have to let go. That's the worst case scenario. And the reason I say they're going to prioritize Mitch, it's just, this is where Brock Aller comes in. What can you legally do to get him money, but not pay him a whole bunch the first year? They did that the last time they re-signed him. It was a sliding scale contract, but I think it was the opposite. I think he started off high and he went down. I wonder if they could do the opposite, start off down and then bring him up high later. That's going to be very important. But they can create at least $20 million in space. maybe more. If they don't bring back Alvarado, okay, they're going to create 23, 24 million in space. That takes care of Mitch, that takes care of Shamit, that takes care of Diawara and Sohan. That takes care of everybody. So you may have to listen. You may have to lose Alvarado, which would be sad because he's a New York dude. It'd be sad. You may have to lose Alvarado and Daddier to create enough cap space to sign Mitch Rob. You're going to extend Deuce, that's no problem. You can extend Kolek, that's no problem. And bring back Shamit. That's real important. If you can keep Diawara, if I had to choose between Diawara and Sohan, I'm choosing Diawara because Diawara 21. I mean, Sohan only 23, but I'm saying is that Diawara has got so much upside, much more than Sohan. Sohan is an upside defender, upside rebounder, but Diawara is a guard that could guard also 5, and he could shoot. Very important, two-way player. More two-way player than Sohan is. And Sohan now going to be in his 4th season, 5th season. So Diawara is more of a two-way player. So we'll see if one of them, like probably Sohan, can hang out until like December when the Knicks can re-sign him at a cheaper rate and then bring him back next year and try to keep him. That'd be good. But Diawara I'd like to keep. So in summation, the Knicks will keep their starting 5, obviously, with Mitchell Robinson. They should be able to get Shamit back. They're going to have Deuce, as I mentioned, and they're going to probably have Kolek. Because now with Deuce and Kolek and Shamit, you got 3 guys, especially Deuce can play the 1 or the 2, but you'll prioritize him at the 2. Tyler Kolek is a 1, and he can play 1 with Brunson as the 2. He's done it. And he can play 1 with Deuce as the 2 and with Shamit at the 2. He's done it. So you want Alvarado if you can bring him back because you got another point guard that NBA level defender, real decent shooter, and quickness. Quickness that brings to the court. So you would like to bring Alvarado back, but that's where you're dealing with. Your priority is to sign Mitchell Robinson, the best offensive rebounder in the NBA. You're going to get Deuce back, a two-way player. You want to bring back Shamit, a two-way player. But that's where it's going to cost you. Okay? So you create space by trading Daddier's contract into space. And you might or might not. Alvarado needs to decline his option. And now you got to decide how you're going to. Can you start him at 3.5? That's really what we're talking about. Start him at 3.5, end him at 5.5, something like that. That's what we're talking about. How low can we start Mitch Rob off? Because this year is critical. We don't want to go. The owner just said he ain't going over the second apron. So this year is critical. So you can stay under the second apron, keep Mitch Rob, keep Shamit. Alvarado gonna have to deal right now. Get longer term, but less money in the first year. Daddy may have to go with a second rounder to get us some $3 million more in cap space. Okay, so that's really what we're talking about. So in terms of the chip, in terms of bringing the band back, I can see us bringing back, like I said, the starting 5 with Mitchell Robinson, Shamit, Deuce, and Kolek. Kolek gets a bigger role this year. The outside, but can be done, is bringing back Diawara. You may have to put Sohan on ice until you can afford to bring him back at a vet min. Diawara shouldn't cost you more than $2 million a year right now. So with all of that, you pretty much bringing back the band. The only guy would be missing is Daddier, and I don't even know how they would sign anybody from the summer league. They're not going to sign the 24th pick. They're not making the 24th pick. I've been telling you they don't have the money for that. The Don ain't paying first round money right now. I don't care who it is. Okay, he's not doing it. So there's nobody in this draft that they need to pay that's so good, we got to have him at 24. It doesn't exist. Okay, so that's going to be it. He's going to trade that. Now, what's he going to get for it? That's why I'm saying they can move Daddier if they're going to attach a pick and move him to somebody's cap space. So somebody's going to get a 21-year-old player. They're going to get a pick. They're going to have their own picks, and the Knicks are going to have $3 million in cap space, which is extremely important for us right now. So I'm thinking that's going to happen. Kolick is too good. If I can bring him into my 9-man rotation, I'm going to do it. Okay. And some people were, like I said, they were theorizing about how he would play against the Spurs. Why theorize? He's already done it. When the Knicks beat them in the cup, Kolick was one of the stars. Kolick already showed he could play. This is not something we need to theorize about. The boy's defense has gotten better. He's working really hard. He wants to be a Knick. So does Shamit. So let's see if we can. We're going to keep Kolick because he's under contract. We can extend him. Can Shamit start at 5 or 6 and move up to like 10 over time? I don't know. That's where I don't know. How low can his salary start is the most important question right now. Because if depending on that, can we bring back Sohan right now? That's what that depends on. We're gonna get Mitch Rob. Okay, he's gonna start his contract as low as you can and bring him up so that I think 5 years, 80 would be a number that he should do, 16 per. But this year, start him lower. And the starting salary is going to be real important, and the Don's count pennies. So we're going to get Mitchell Robinson back. We probably going to get Shamit back because he's going to make room to get Shamit back. Shamit's that important for that side, that bench piece. The bench unit is dynamic. People were already complaining, improve the bench because they're stupid and short-sighted. You already got a bench. You just need to stay together and get better together, and they all will. Deuce is 25. He's going to be 26 at time the season start. So you're going to have that. Kolick is 25. He's going to be 26 next year, March. Then you got Mitchell Robinson, who's the longest tenured Knick, and right now he's 28. He's in his prime. And you want him coming off the bench. That extends his life, his talent in terms of his NBA life, and you get a big-time rebounder that could take over games. He just has to work on his foul shooting, which may never get better. But he's never going to stop rebounding. That's what he's going to do. And Mike Brown figured out how to work around the hack and Mitch, so that's good too. Clarkson is probably a goner. Okay, 34 years old. He helped us a lot this year, but they can't afford him. Okay, he's probably a goner. So, and then, like I said, you want to get Diawara back in here. Other than that, McCullough was on a two-way. I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. They may because McCullough should play somewhere. He's good enough to play in the NBA. Okay, he has really come back from his knee issue. The Knicks tenure for him was a rehab, and he really rehabbed himself and come back. So that's good. I'm thinking, he gets a deal somewhere. Not a tremendous amount of money, but more than the Knicks could pay him as a two-way player. He'll get a regular roster spot somewhere. Jameson too. So I don't know, how they will work the back end of the bench out. But to me, the most important players are that first 10, which the 10th guy would be Diawara. Okay, so again, Mitch, Shamit, Deuce, Kolick, and Diawara. That's my first 10, and I'm keeping them. If you can get Shamit, if you can get, Sohan, if you can get a Porty back, that would be good. But it's going to be difficult because of the money situation. So, and Porty's another guy. He came in several times during the course of the playoffs just for little spots. But them little spots were important for the Knicks. So to have a guy like that as your third center is excellent. But you could utilize Diawara. You could utilize OG. You could utilize them to guard fives if you need to because they can. So that's where you have to pick up the slack here. Okay, so we'll see. There's a lot of variables, but those are the 10 that I would make sure we resign. Shamit, if they blow him away with a $12 million a year offer, we're just going to lose him. And what we're going to do is depend on Kolick. We're going to have to depend on the boy. It's time. Okay? He should be ready. It's time. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you can't go get somebody because the Knicks there's a lot of fandom that think we got to go get this one. We need this guy. And they start describing a player that they already know in their mind. And the Knicks can't get him, but they fantasy. So Kolick is ready. We don't need to go get anybody else. We got Kolick. I'm very confident the boy will be ready to play. And just like Deuce plays better when he gets consistent minutes. Brown was consistent at most of the season, but then Deuce got hurt, and then playoff time, Brown was inconsistent with Deuce. And that hurts Deuce. It's the same with Kolick. If Kolick knows he's going to get 8 to 12 minutes a game, he's going to be better than sitting on the bench waiting for his time. He's going to get in the rhythm. I'm very confident the boy will be able to show up. I like his game. I like how he's developed. I like how he worked so hard and built his body up, transition his defense to NBA level. He's become TJ McConnell. In my book, he can get to his spots. He's an excellent, as we know, passer, ball handler. So I'm confident if we lose Shamet, I would be depending on Kolek to step into those shoes. Okay, I'll be depending on him. So Shamet could get blown away with a $12 million a year offer. So, but I think somebody's going to try to, there's teams with mid-level exception money, they're going to use that. So the Knicks got to match a mid-level, which is about $8 million per year. Start him off, it's 5, 6.5, see if we can, and build him up over 4 years so he gets $32 million, right? Okay, maybe like in last year, you get him like 9.5 or whatever it takes, 8.5, whatever it takes to get the $8 million per. Okay, that's what you do. And now he's part of the championship roster. So that's a question. It depends on what they offer him. A lot of y'all bills, what if they do this? Like, you're so worried. Like, this is not your bills. He's not paying your mortgage. This is a player. The Knicks can repeat with Shannon or without Shannon. That's the understanding. It'd be better with Shannon. Much better. Okay? But they can repeat. So let's see how this works out. Shamit really likes New York City. He has expressed that multiple times. He likes New York City as a city. And he would like to stay here, having won a championship. He got a ring now. So, but he also wants to get a bag. So $32 million, I'm thinking 4 years, we got him. I'm pretty sure. We just got to start him off below $8 million, and then we can sign a couple other guys. He'll understand that. He certainly will. But as long as he gets his bag, I think we'll be all right. So to me, the first 9, 10, like I mentioned, again, we'll keep those. After that, it's going to be, we'll see. Okay? But Mitch, Deuce, Shamit, Kolek, Diawara. Then you want to see about Alvarado. You want to see about him. We'll see. But that's where we're at right now. I think we'll keep our first 10, and we'll deal with after that 11 and 12 and 13. We'll deal with after that. That's the situation for Brock Aller. We'll find out. But if you're asking me, I think the Knicks make sure they keep that first 10. And then after that, we deal with it. Because the Dolan's not going over the second apron. He's got this thing. Somebody talked to him. He's not going over the second apron. So he already said that. So we got to make the second apron bigger. Okay, which means, again, I see Daddy A leaving, getting into somebody's cap space. The Knicks got picks to give somebody. Do that. Create the $3 million. After that, we got to get some of these guys to start off their first year of their new contracts lower than the average. So Mitch Robb, if we gave him 5 years, not $80 million, okay. Start off, 12. Okay, if we can start off 12, that would help us a lot. Okay, Shamit, start off 6. That would help us a lot. See, so we'll see. That's the key here. So we'll see, man. I can guarantee we're not losing Mitchell Robinson. That's not going to happen. We're not losing Deuce, as some knuckleheads assert, but we may lose Shamit. And if we do lose Shamit, the answer to that loss is Kolek. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. So we're not going to lose Deuce. We're not going to lose Mitchell Robinson. If we lose Shamit, the answer to the loss of Shamit is Tyler Kolek. It's already on our bench. Okay, that's the answer. Okay, we'll see though how this works out. Anyway, y'all enjoy the parade today, but be safe. It's a lot of people in one place, so be safe. We will talk soon after the parade. Draft is coming up. For us as the Knicks fans, the biggest part of the draft is not who we're acquiring, which is everybody's in that mindset. It's what we can save. It's like I try to tell my children, don't think in terms of how something fits into your monthly budget. Think how something fits to make you save more. That's the key. For consumers versus savers. Right now, the Knicks need to be a saver to stay under that second apron. Consumer, no. So we're not looking who we can get, for some of y'all stuck on that. Somebody say, we might need to get the... What the hell are you talking about? We need to get the 24th pick. Ain't nothing we need to get that going to cost us that kind of money. No. We need to save. So we'll talk about that. It's coming up. I think draft night's going to be interesting. So we'll see in terms of saving. Sure.